What's up, toy lovers? I'm Brad from Brad's Toy Room. Today we're here to talk about toys, specifically Mandalorian toys. With all the hype around the new show, and I am hyped too, I figured it'd be a great time to review some of the 4-inch figures that Hasbro's been sending to us through the past several years. When I started looking into it, there really wasn't as many figures as I expected. This top 5 list was kind of hard to put together. I made it work with some of the old figures that we reckon, or some of the old characters that we recognize, and some of the new ones that we know are Mandalorian. So let's get started. Let's jump right into it. Their number 5 figure is definitely going to be the Mandalorian Warriors. This was first released in a 4-pack. A buddy of mine found this one actually out in the wild back in the day. Picked it up for me. It was the only one he saw. Gave it to me for my birthday. I loved it so much I never even opened it, and I opened most of my toys. I do love to have them out, play with them, set them up, things like that. Beautiful set, some excellent art on the back of it, really a nice piece. I do happen to have one of those figures loose because they also put it in a single pack. I picked him up at some point during the time. I did lose his missile launcher, but he's still a beautiful figure, nice articulation. It was also released with a separate paint job, a little bit darker. I actually prefer this paint job a little bit better. He was released this one with a speeder. Didn't get the speeder, but I still enjoy the figure itself. He gives a nice mix to the characters when you're building an army with them. Second on that list, number 4 actually, is the Mandalorian police officer. This guy came out, he was featured in the Clone Wars as well. He was one of the background troops. I've been wanting to troop build him for years and just never got the opportunity, and you really don't see him around much. He really is a nice figure. Not heavily articulated, no real knee articulation, but has great accessories. Comes with a baton, an excellent shield, and then has one of those annoying rocket launchers that we all kind of throw to the side. Still a great looking figure with a removable visor. Number 3 on the list, Sabine Wren. She was featured in the Rebel series. Eventually actually possessed the Darksaber. Carried it on through her family from Mandalore. She was an excellent character and a nice addition to the Mandalorian figures that we have. As far as the figure goes, she's not highly articulated. She's only 5 points. She does come with an excellent helmet and a pair of pistols, just like you would expect any Mandalorian to have at this point. Next on the list, we're going to say number 2, but really number 1 as far as Mandalorians actually go. This would be the leader of the Mandalorians during the Clone Wars periods. He was pre-Vizsla. Excellent character. He's very dynamic. He first possessed the Darksaber, and this rendition of the figure actually came with it. So thank you, Hasbro, for that. He comes with a removable helmet as well as removable jetpack, and his cape is also removable. Nice articulation, really a well-made figure. As far as Mandalorians go, there was other figures that came out through the years. They came out with this wonderful, we'll call it a 7-pack. It was from the Republic Elite Forces. I have one of those figures. It's actually my son's. I never got any of them, and we don't even have the helmet for them. But those sets were very well made. The figures were just 5 points of articulations, but it was great to see them teaming up with the clones that are going on in there. Also, just a year or 2 ago, they came out with a Rebels Mandalorian figure. I wasn't able to get my hands on that one yet, but I'm still on the hunt. You gotta have some figures that you're hunting for. As we're getting towards the end of this list, I want to throw out a couple honorable mentions. An explanation even. So, you know, we all grew up watching Star Wars, recognizing Boba Fett, Jango Fett. Even for some of us that read the books, Jodo Cast, we all grew up recognizing them as Mandalorians. As the lore has evolved, we come to find out they're actually not Mandalorians. Honorable mentions. First one is Jodo Cast. So Jodo Cast, who basically in the Legend series, after Boba Fett got killed by the Sarlacc, he decided to paint his armor to look like Boba Fett's and take Boba Fett's job. Boba Fett eventually did come back in that line and had some words with Jodo Cast. Second honorable mention would have to go to Jango Fett, the father of the clones, the father of Boba Fett himself. Jango Fett was actually not a clone, though. He was not, rather, a Mandalorian. while he had Mandalorian armor, the Mandalorians didn't actually know where he came up with it, and he never joined the Mandalorians. As I was digging into this a little bit more, you come to find out Mandalorian is really more like a religion than even like a country. You know, you have to be qualified, you have to go through the rigors, you have to go through the tests. You have to be a warrior. While Jango Fett could have definitely been a Mandalorian, he wasn't. They considered him a criminal, they considered him an outlaw, which he kind of was. He's a great figure though. So glad to have Boba Fett's dad and the father of all the clones in my collection. So my last figure, number 1 on the list, I'm going to get to in just a minute. I do want to take a second and thank my sponsors, the Partynerdz, for helping me to put this video together. So please, if you're not following this channel already, the Partynerdz channel, please do it now. Last on the list we're going to get to, of course, is Boba Fett. Now I get it, Boba Fett, I just said he's not a Mandalorian. He is wearing Mandalorian armor, obviously, and Boba Fett could have been a Mandalorian from what I understand. He was completely capable of it. He just had to go through the trials, and instead of going through the trials of the Mandalorian way, he went more through the trials of being a bounty hunter. So for that, he'll forever be a bounty hunter and not a Mandalorian. However, he made us all love the armor, the race, and what they do. So this is my top Boba Fett figure. I actually just picked it up recently. It was the vintage line of the figures. He's a beautiful figure. Obviously, his helmet does not come off. He comes with all the bells and whistles you would expect from Boba Fett. I really like his Wookiee braids. Definitely nice, nice detail, nice articulation. He's not the only Boba Fett figure I have to show you today, though, because I know how much everyone loved the holiday special. They actually made an animated Boba Fett from that holiday special when Boba Fett was in there. So really just an opportunity to pull him out. Obviously, I haven't opened him up out of the package, which generally I do. You don't really need this Boba Fett out of the package, and he looks so great. So first thing I noticed when I look at this, though, because when I started watching The Mandalorian, was the staff. So I wonder how much, how much the directors and the writers looked at this original Boba Fett, looked at the staff, turned it into the gun that The Mandalorian now has. Makes you wonder just a little bit. As for the Mandalorian figure itself, please Hasbro, send me it. I want it so bad. I can't wait to get it into my collection. For us 4-inch figure collectors, it sounds like, though, we're going to have to wait till March. That's what Hasbro is telling us at this point. 6-inch collectors, though, you guys already have them out there. Go happy hunting, get your hands on him. He's a beautiful figure. I was playing with him yesterday. But for the 4-inch figures, we just got to wait for a little bit longer, but they'll be here. And hopefully we'll all grab our Mando figure, and maybe even a Baby Yoda figure. Another one I can't wait to get my hands on. But that's all from me for this time. Thank you for tuning in, for watching me talk about some toys. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.